Live.
I was not expecting. Oh, everybody.
I'm so big.
Well, hello there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're giant this time, huh?
I bet you're wondering why I've gathered you all here.
All right, tell us the prompt.
Roll for initiative.
Last mission.
Is that we're gonna make characters?
11.
We're gonna roll for characters. How many classes are there? How many races are there?
I think my dice is weighted. That was another natural 20.
Okay. You gotta
All right,
get
this
us
guy
new dice.
microwaved it. This guy microwaved it.
The microwave. Like that.
Go get a glass of water. We're
Yes.
testing this.
Okay. That one was a 5.
And
Yeah,
salt.
grab the glass of water and salt. Yeah, we'll test this one out.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this one.
This can't be natural.
Smashes it with the textbook.
Oh my gosh. Ridiculous. Amazing. Look at this fancy setup, everybody. It feels so colorful.
Yeah.
Do you feel the naked roll rat energy?
Yes. A little chaotic in a background.
Bringing real naked energy into this.
I was kind of feeling the roll, but I don't know about you guys.
All right, Ethan, you get the rat.
So I love rats, right?
I love rats.
Okay.
I love it.
What's so
I
much?
love
I love
turtles. I
refrigerators.
love turtles.
Turtle. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of
Why can't I
turtles,
catch my breath?
how about Turtle Island? Was that cool or what, guys?
It sure was. I've heard.
No.
Yeah.
No. Taylor, Jaden, I really need your thoughts on Turtle Island. What was your favorite part?
So
You guys
I
went
think
back,
it was.
back and watched everything, right?
Yeah. Before you joined,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did
sure.
do your homework, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, I watched all.
I gotta
Oh.
go.
Crashes stream.
I'm just. We're just. All right.
Oh man, I know what Ethan's favorite part was just getting smacked around by thunder waves.
Also
Traumatized.
Toby's favorite. All of you loved that. It was the only thing I could do. But anywho, hi everybody. Welcome to Naked Roll Rats. We are doing our campaign wrap up and just doing a little tavern talk about what we've been doing for the past over a year and the gameplay that we just finished up and everything. So if any of you have questions, feel free to throw those in chat. Otherwise, we're just gonna talk about stuff and ask each other questions that we had about the campaign and everything. So yeah, that's kind of the gameplay for today. I'm Tam. I'm your guys' DM. Yay.
Howdy, I'm Ethan. I had the privilege of playing Isaac, the party's wizard. Now cured.
I'm Tony. I'm formerly known as Artem Petrova, the Shadow Monk. And yeah, everything was great for him. 5 stars.
The hold.
Hi, I'm Jaden, and I was once a Wood Elf Circle of Dreams druid by the name of Oleander Rostar, who did more than I ever hoped.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I am the lead creative designer for Benjamin Chrysanthos, the team's Rune Knight Fighter. And I'm just here for the interviews and the publicity. No autographs.
I thought you forgot for a second. It was like Rune Knight Fire Genasi for some reason.
Oh, you got it.
That's what Ben
Where
was
do
in
you
the
think Yeah, it was in the playtest.
I was beta testing Fire Genasi. We decided not to go with it. Reskinned it. Went furball.
Yeah. That's why me and the cook
Big
got
swing,
so good,
but-
well together.
Yeah,
It was a bit, yeah.
I think it
But
played
we
out- I
play
think
we
it-
player
it
tested
panned out
it.
well, but it was a big
Yeah.
swing.
We beta tested it. It seemed to work really well with fans.
We have a whole separate channel where we do all that.
And that's for the
Although-
patron. No.
Suited. That's our suited up roll rats.
Yep.
Suited roll rats.
Fully clothed roll rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully clothed roll rats.
Rolls right off the
Cool.
tongue.
There's a reason why we stick with our original name and why the other channel just is not doing well at all.
Come on. The bonus content.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and you'll probably notice that Finch, our player of Ruby Libertaz, our lovely fathomless warlock / rogue multiclass, was not able to make it tonight. But we have questions about Ruby, and if any of you guys have questions about Ruby, we're happy to answer them
Yeah. What
as
is Ruby?
I can.
What is Ruby?
A tabaxi.
It's like a gem.
Fucking cat, bro.
I think they're like the Khajiit.
Dude, okay. I've been on an Elder Scrolls kick lately. I will say, I wish when people did tabaxis, they were more like Khajiit.
Yeah.
I
Just
just
a little
really,
bit, you know?
I just think they look
In
really
what
sick.
way?
Just the way they look.
They're-
I think the Khajiit look really cool. Like I don't know.
Oh, the appear. Okay.
Yeah, the
I thought you were gonna
appearance
say
of them.
like,
I just
because
want
I
to be
thought the
skooma
Khajiit
addicts.
also could be like
most
literally
skooma
like
addicts.
such a wide variety of like.
Yes, they can be. Yes,
There's like
In the
yeah,
Lord
so that's what I thought
varieties
you were
of 'em.
talking about.
No, I just saw the natural way the Khajiit look. I think they look sick. I was like, I feel like if I ever
Yeah.
played a tabaxi, it would probably be more like Khajiit looking.
No, in my Tuesday campaign, I have a tabaxi that is very Khajiit coded.
That's sick.
I want it to be more like the Khajiit, where they're addicted to skooma and,
Yeah, yeah.
and other, other
I
substances,
really want to be.
And
Completely
merchants.
addicted and also assholes.
I
and
love
kicked out of
Moonshooter.
every city for being thieves.
You got it.
So what I'm hearing is oops all Khajiit at some
Yeah.
point.
Heck yeah,
Oops,
dude.
all Khajiit.
So
It's
I
just
hear
10
your town
straight
has
sessions of
moon sugar.
role-playing,
Yes.
10
You
straight
said
sessions of breaking in
vertical.
and selling.
Yeah.
Oh, fencing.
All of
Oh
us
my God.
have expertise in persuasion.
Yeah, I'll put one together. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is. Lead creative
I-
designer.
Of just broken one shots.
You got it.
Amazing. But yeah, before we kind of like dive into this, just a little bit of, I guess, scheduling over the next little bit. We're getting ready also for our next campaign. That has been in the works and everything. So I've been messing around with backstories and world stuff and everything. And that's probably going to be starting here probably either towards the end of March, beginning of April. We'll give you guys a little bit of a heads up. But so between now and then, we're just going to take a little bit of break from the like full campaigness. So expect some one shots, maybe a mini campaign, and that sort of stuff while we're prepping for that and everything. So, but yeah, just to give a heads up, we're not going anywhere. We just had a campaign finish. So, ta-da.
What a campaign it was.
Was very
Good
good.
time.
I was going to say, who wants to go first?
Oh man, I could have prepared more for this, and I could have put all of the questions on a wheel, and we could have rolled it.
Actually,
Like
I have
some
one
kind of
I wanted
rats.
I have one I wanted to start with that I just thought of today.
Yeah.
I just am curious if, just in a kind of a brief synopsis, how, like, what was the origin of your character? Like, how did you come up with the idea of your character? And do you think it landed the way that you expected?
Damn, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Because I'll start, I guess. Ollie, because again, me and Taylor joined a little bit late into it, and Ollie originally started with a looking at the player sheet and being like, "Damn, there's no healers in this fucking party." And also my first time playing a druid, like a full druid. I've dipped in it a couple of times, and I was like, you know what? I really want to make a druid. And so that was just kind of the origin point. There wasn't a grand scale of it. But as the campaign went on, and I've talked about it in kind of our after stream cooldowns, Ollie originally started as just a dick. Like the original way I wrote him was very crass and self-centered. And he very quickly became a kind of a mother hen character, but he evolved very rapidly into a much more involved character than I was expecting.
Which was fun to like watch how fast that happened, because like I mean, instantly between like the setup that you and Ben had, it was like, oh, you can't just be like a dick for no reason. Like you have this poor boy who just needs a hug and needs someone to watch out for him, and like so it totally makes sense that shifted as quickly as it did. And I think because it was so fast, like it gave Ollie the chance to really take that and run with it instead of being like 10 sessions in and then making that change. Like it felt super organic to go, oh wait, this isn't not where Ollie is at all.
Right. Well, there was some out of campaign talk of like it just not feeling great, but that started because in game I realized that like he wouldn't have a reason to be so callous, especially meeting the rest of the group who have been dealing with way worse shit than he was, and being like, what? There's no reason for him to be this upset and cynical.
Right. Yeah, no. It helped having someone not... we're probably going to make 17,000 jaded jokes this entire time, but so I'll throw out the first one. Someone not as jaded as the rest of this party happened to be.
Speaking of jaded.
Yeah, I can go next.
Segue.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've talked about it a little bit, but yeah, I think when I made Isaac, I was like, kind of want to make a character who is just kind of centered around guilt a little bit, and I think it was basically like what happens if you just let guilt kind of like overtake basically your entire life. And I think, well, I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I mean, I kind of planned Isaac to be basically like he will fuck himself over, he'll fuck over others around him, trying to just get rid of those emotions instead of like confronting them in a healthy manner.
Yeah.
So I think you know, I talked to you with, I've already said this before behind the screen, but like, yeah, like Isaac was like meant to be more in line with like an evil type character, just because he would do basically anything to just not have to deal with his emotions, basically.
And that made it so stressful. Like anytime I threw anything at Isaac, I'd be like, oh, well, of course he's gonna go this way. But then like the instant panic of like guilt and get me out of this situation as fast as like he would always take the easiest route out. And I was like, whoa, hang on, what are you doing, dude? But like it totally made sense. But it was just so funny that like and granted there were moments where it was frustrating, but it's just because it was so Isaac. But it's just like it's like the amount of times that there could have been character growth and he just flat out was like, I'm not worth that, made it such an interesting story in the long run. And like why I wanted to give him the wrap up that he had, to be like, hey, like, especially like when your parents saw you, like they would know that something is wrong, and like that you had been holding on to that and all that jazz. And so like, yeah, it was really interesting to see just how true he stuck to that guilt, but then how many times that also like we've talked about this too, where it's just like he's not truly evil because he would do a nugget of good every once in a while, or like a nugget of like self-preservation that had nothing to do with the guilt. But yeah, like it was really interesting to see just how consistent that stayed throughout the entire game.
Yeah. Well, because like as we learn more about his backstory, it was kind of a fun character concept, like looking back at it in hindsight, how the backstory could have fit just as well in a sort of BBEG style character that just fed into the grief and was like, it's not my fault, I'm gonna burn the world down to prove it. And like, yes, obviously there were a lot of times where Isaac kind of dug his heels in, but there was still just enough of a hint of morality to like separate those two life paths.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to play it off as like, you know, you can still, I feel like you can still overall be an absolute like jackass, but I think it's also hard to like, you want more than that, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's hard not to like have, like, I mean, shit, like you're on a ship with someone for like weeks at a time, like it's only natural you're going to start to like form connections and bonds. It's just human nature to a good extent.
Well, and that's why like Isaac will never be Alabaster because of that. Like Alabaster is what Isaac would have been if Isaac had not had the goal of, I'm going to save my parents. Like if Isaac hadn't had that little beacon of light somewhere in the future, like him, like I think that you would have joined up on Alabaster's cause way sooner.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think if it wasn't for, I'll say, noble cause of like fixing his parents, and it was instead just for like if it was solely for like revenge or something, I think there would have been a much different path.
Right. Awesome.
Speaking of a different path, Artem.
Oh, Artem was everything I wanted him to be. No, the original idea, so for the most part, he was what I wanted him to be. It got a little bit more. I'll explain. So originally the whole idea was I came up with the Shadow Monk, and then I started thinking of what our shadows are always, you know, you typically like behind people and stuff, and he was much more of a face, a politician style, noble style character beforehand, very out and about. This time he was going to be the opposite. He wanted to be behind people and kind of push people forward to be the best versions of themselves, and always have people's back was like how I originally intended him to be. So for the most part, he was that character that was always trying to be helpful and help people reach their goals. I think by the end he was way more of the leader than I wanted him to originally be. His idea was to push other people to be the leader, and by the end of it he somehow became the person talking to a god, and I was just like, hello. That was the only kind of weird moment, was just like he kind of took more of a forward face by the end of it, but for the most part I think he played out exactly how I originally intended him to be. I don't think I thought originally about how his, I guess, by him leaving during the pirate arc, like how much that impacted everything, and I was like, oh my god, okay, maybe this was I goofed.
I was literally about to like ask about Sylvie later, but like it's funny because for someone that you're like, oh, I'm gonna push them forward and everything, it's like that's such like a father figure thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
And like when all else fails, everyone's gonna go, Dad, like what do we do? And so like it makes sense that like when you guys were up against the wall and everything, like everyone went, Dad. Like I don't think anyone looked at you as captain. I think everyone looked at you as, hey, parental figure, please help us.
Emotional support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that was a very much a weird moment because I really thought like when I brought Sylvie in, she was very much a lovable, caring character that really wanted to see the best in people and try to like, and I just don't think it matched the personality of the crew kind of situation where a lot of people, especially at the moment, at that time, were in a very negative place. Like, everybody was in a really bad, like, emotional state at that point. That was, like, right after Arista was killed, and even when I knew Artem was leaving, I could feel that it wasn't, like, a great moment, but, I mean, he just found out his wife was still alive, and I just don't think he could have literally sat there another day knowing that she was out there and knowing where she was at and having an idea and just being like, well, I guess we're gonna go keep doing what we're doing. Like, it was a rock and a hard place kind of situation.
Yeah. I'm just glad that like we found a good narrative reason for him to come back, because it especially like I loved that when Ball was just like, you're not, like, if you find her, like, you're not coming back. But like that's also so not Artem. Like Artem would have attempted to be like, oh hey, I like fixed my problem, let's go fix this, come back and fix this other one, and that sort of thing. So like it made it in the grand scheme of things, it made sense that he popped back in and everything. There was a question that you guys we'll definitely talk about this later, but there's a question about like story beats that like were missed or whatever. We're just gonna put a big old star on Sylvie for a second and circle back to that. Because boy howdy, there was some stuff that could have happened on Pirate Island that did not happen on Pirate Island, and I'd love to show you all what happened.
Listen, we had to go on the offensive.
Yeah, for sure. Tony's just gonna print a shirt with that, and it's gonna
just
for sure.
Just put a glove. Time to go on the offensive.
Just as offensive on it.
just says offensive.
Yeah,
it's just a glove on there, and it's what is going on?
Speaking of offensive, Taylor, what about Ben?
Oh man, so
the most offensive character in this whole game.
So glad you asked. I definitely think that Ben just had a long line of really bad luck, and that's really what I wanted to play it as. Was he just got a bad deal after bad deal after bad deal into where he was with the Black Talons, and really just being stuck there because you're the butt end of a joke. And that like, oh, I'm working this wage and this job's fine or whatever, but like, there's more out there. And someone going, hey, yeah, I'm from out there, you want to come along if we can get you out of here? it really jump started his like, oh well, stuff can be better. I can be more than just the loser of losers. But you know, when it was actually in his face and presented like that, like there's a bunch of really bad things that we're gonna have to go solve. It's just too much for him. And he was like, I'm gonna do this big thing with these people who have done more for me than I could do for them ever. And I'll be there for it. I don't feel like I'm, you know, supposed to be. And that's kind of what I was going for. Yeah, I think I nailed it.
I was really surprised at how, because honestly, like, especially for Ben's epilogue, like, when Ben was like, "Can I go home?" Like, for me, I was like, "Oh, man, that hits." Like, that hits so much harder, knowing how many bits of bad luck got Ben there, and how just weirdly optimistic he had been through all of that. And then the second that he had an out, he was like, "I'm taking it," and everything. Because like, there was a part that I thought that Ben was gonna stick around and hang out with people and everything, but it's like, no, this guy deserves to go home. he needs a nap.
It all really rode on the shoulders of Ollie's, you know, support in that moment to just, you know, you can run alongside your friend as long as you would like, but if you're looking over and they're clearly falling down, you can just say, hey, sometimes you got to stop racing.
Right.
And him giving him the, no, we're going to send you back. You're not doing it. We're just sending you back.
Yeah, it felt very like a lot of D&D campaigns. Like, even if it's not explicitly said, there's that feeling of like, we're the heroes, we're the chosen ones. And it was kind of fun until it got really sad of Ben very obviously being like, I'm not a chosen one. I'm not supposed to be here, and I keep having to be.
Yeah, he is just trying to pull that broad face of like, yeah, guys, let's go get him. Let's go talk to the god. That couldn't go bad for anyone ever.
I do think that was kind of the funny kind of situation that we were in, because it wasn't just you. It was very much like, because there was you and there was Isaac, were very much both the we shouldn't be here, I don't want to be here kind of situation that was going on, which was really funny because it was just like, it made sense. Like, I mean, in a situation like this where it was just like a lot of people had their own stuff going on, and it felt like they all got like shoehorned into doing this thing, and then they're all like, well, it is important, we should go do it, but everybody else is like, I'd rather be doing other stuff.
Or I'm not good enough to be doing all that. And
you want me to be
like,
a hero
let's get
and save the world?
Yeah.
I guess that's true. In the grand scope, the only people that like really had to be there were Isaac and Ollie. Ollie because he wanted to be the Shale, and Isaac because he was hunting down Alabaster.
But Isaac did not want to be there ever.
Right. No, yeah. I think if Isaac was able to cure himself and cure his parents without even figuring out that Alabaster was kind of behind things, he'd be very well just like basically going into retirement at age like 25 or whatever.
Yeah. Be like, I'm done.
I got a good book to go read. I'll catch you guys later.
Exactly.
Well, so that's why when Ollie had the divination about the two trees, that's why Chemish gave the answer that he did, was because if Isaac had gone down the path of strictly going through like magical, like learned magical means, if he had worked with Scrollmaster Markovsky to be able to cure his stuff, and then either be able to take a wish spell to his parents or like whatever that way, like that would have led to that alabaster tree. But like sorta and relinquishing some of that control and going, I'm gonna put my faith in something else. Like that's what led to the golden tree. So like that's why Chemish couldn't answer that question of yes or no. Like, is Isaac gonna be okay if he takes off the black spot? It's like there's two very different options here depending on how Isaac wants to take things. And I feel like that's how a lot of stuff was with you guys. Like there was always these two paths of either you can go and do the thing begrudgingly but do the right thing, or you could not do that and potentially get your way, but things probably are not going to be as good as you want them to be.
Even in the end, that's kind of what happened to Ben, because it was like, you know, his family's still missing. There's still those ties from the Black Talon that he has to get back into. He got his out, but like he could have had it earlier. Right.
Oh, I felt so bad when he stepped through that door in the freaking tower, and it's just like, oh, buddy, come back inside, please. We're
right there, I promise.
We're right there. Just give me a couple more
from
weeks.
the end, and Taylor's just like, and Ben leaves.
And Ben?
Never to be seen again.
I really thought, honestly, in the wrap-up, when like he went back home and saw the workshop in the state that it was, and a lot of the people weren't there anymore, that it would almost be like a dawning, like a moment where he goes, I don't think this is home anymore.
Right, the re-spark into adventure.
Yeah. Because that's how, like, so you get there and you're like, oh, I haven't seen anybody. I haven't, smelled the wood. I haven't been in this, all this thing. And you get there and you realize you're like, this ain't the same place anymore. People are gone. It's run down. It doesn't have the same feel as it does anymore. Like, honestly, that's, that whole thing. Because, I mean, as someone who's been in the military who, like, did that, it's kind of like that thing where you're like, you join the military, you get away for a while, and then you're like, oh, I'm so homesick. And then you go back and you're like, oh, yeah, there was a reason why I did that in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's... Oh, man, I just had it. To give this the very sad answer of that's kind of Ben would tough through that, and he just tried to make things as well as he could.
Right, because just because he had an out doesn't mean that he didn't probably think, oh great, some more bad luck. I guess I'm just gonna smile through this too.
Right.
Ugh, man, good stuff, everybody.
It was a perfect, like, visual representation of there's a saying my grandpa used to always say where it was like, to try your best is hard, to do nothing is hard. Pick your hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
It's good stuff.
Did you want me to segue into rolling this wheel to see what question we get?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, no problem.
You did that super fast. Good job.
Hey, no problem.
Like he's our lead technical analyst.
Yeah.
Right, creative designer.
Are we just gonna change the title each time?
Yeah, you got it. How would your character deal with the death of a party member, and what's the path past that, and how would they cope?
Depends on the party
some
member.
Of those people who work here. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I should have wrote who did these so that it could be like, oh, why I thought of this question. Because this is mine. I thought of this question because of the, like, what if Artem died? Or what if Ollie died for Ben? That kind of, like, super close like, connection to people. How would you imagine your character getting past that? Because in my eyes, Ben would have fully tapped out if Ollie died. he would have fully tapped out. He would have tried to go make a deal to get back in, or just see what his home was like after that.
I think with
I was
Artem,
thinking real. Oh, yeah.
you go.
No, go ahead. You're good.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say for like, it was really interesting to see just how much an actual character death in campaign rocked Ruby, and like just how much, and especially like because that happened like right when you two joined, like it was really, really interesting to see, like, from Ruby's perspective, at least watching Ruby try super hard up until that point to like be a good friend to Arista, and then for Arista to still side with Isaac, even though like there was obvious better friends for her to have, and then for Arista to pass, and then Ruby go, I could have done better, I should have done better, I won't forget her. Like, and the fact that she was still getting brought up in the last session, like, and everything, like, it was just really interesting to see just how much that particular death could impact like a single character. Meanwhile, like, I know that it impacted other party members, but it was just really interesting to see how vocal Ruby was about Arista versus everyone else, because like everyone else had different feelings about that, but like you could just see the true friendship with Ruby and Arista in that moment and how much that carried.
Yeah. I think Artem, mainly also being a frontline character kind of thing, if died during combat, obviously to him probably would take that very like on himself, like I should have done something more, I should have stepped it up, but obviously none of y'all died in combat because he's amazing, but
that stupid death dome won't speak of it ever again.
Cam's banning darkness in campaign 2.
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
My next campaign character is also a Shadow Merrick. No, I'm just kidding.
His name is Bardem.
Bart. I think he would take the death of Ruby and Isaac obviously more hard. To him, those were like his children, those were his kids kind of thing, and he really looked at them as his kids and tried to help them out as much as he could. I don't think anything would have stopped him from finishing the mission. Like, I don't think it would have made him like, I think it might, like, he was already a risky person anyway. I think if anything, getting his wife back actually made him play safer, because now he actually had more to lose. When we first played him, he was pretty much like, he was kind of just going crazy till he died. He was like, I'm just gonna have a good time and be stupid and have a blast. And by the end, he was way more defensive and way more protective than he used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it would have definitely rocked him if Isaac or Ruby would have went down for sure. But hey, there was a time that we almost lost Artem on the ship, and it was actually Ball who saved him.
Yep.
So can't forget that Ball is one of the only reasons that Artem is around.
Yep. That a man of very few words was able to pull
He showed up.
Was able to pull Artem out of yeah, and that was such a good moment too of just like I loved that Ball wouldn't let Artem go at that point. All the signs were there that I think that if like Isaac had approached, or if even if Ruby had approached, like it would have been very hey Artem, you good? And for him to say no, they would have been like, I don't know how to help this, and potentially would have backed out. But like I liked that Ball wouldn't let you do that.
He also like smashed the door open, I'm pretty sure. Like
for sure.
The door was like boarded up pretty much. He had like thrown a bunch of shit in front of the door, and like Ball knew something was wrong and like kicked the door open and like pretty much saved him. Because I had talked to Tam, I was like, listen, if nobody shows up for Artem, next time they find him, he's going to be crazy feral vampire.
Yeah. And like was almost all the way there. Because that was after the Wave Walker stuff, right?
Yeah. And everybody was looking at him on the boat like a monster. And
that's right.
It hit him in a way that because he had been always very forward about his vampirism and been very much always helpful to everybody he could possibly be, and then everybody on the ship just looking at him like a monster. It like really wrecked him.
Yeah. That was a fun creature for me to create for y'all, so sorry that it almost wrecked Artem to his very core.
You made him to wreck Artem. Mission accomplished. He showed up as a small little child. Like, Artem isn't going to go out of his way to help a small child.
So, that was like one of the fun parts about like because I was like, what can I give you guys that is intimidating, but like also that like the potentially is going to be scary down the line. And so I came up with the idea for the Wave Walkers. And so the Wave Walkers are basically children of Rian and her husband. If I remember right, his name is
Carl.
Hang on.
The god of the coral.
Yeah, air. So close. But so in the mythology, he's a giant and she's a sea goddess. If they have kids, they can't be a part of either. And so that's why these like lost souls basically just sit and walk on the waves, because they can't be in the water, they can't be on land, like they're just stuck. And so they're either created from like dead boats or whatever, or they are swapped out basically like a changeling would as a baby, and then like they grow up, but as they grow up, in order to properly age, they feed off that misery and they feed off that fear and they feed off that whatever. And so what's more terrifying than like doppelgangers ruining your life and that sort of thing? But like I didn't want to throw just a straight doppelganger your guys' way because it would be way too obvious just on a boat. But like it was crazy to see just how like that one encounter rocked Artem so badly.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting to see everyone like really connect and then just get absolutely torn asunder when they kind of found out.
Yeah.
The sad part is knowing that something's fishy, but you're like, but my character doesn't, so I'm gonna go all in on this.
Know, so and you guys were so nice to him, and I was just like, he
literally was hurting people. He was literally hurting
all the
people.
time.
Just being around him hurt, and everybody was like, "It's okay, it's fine, we got you.
It's okay."
He doesn't mean it.
As you have like the coyote gnawing off your arm, it's like, it's fine. Look, puppy, and it's
So
like,
cute. He doesn't know any better.
Right, this kid is bad news. And so that's
I
why he
could
got
fix
as
him.
strong. Yeah, exactly. It was, and he got so strong so fast, and he aged so fast, and that's why he was able to get to that point of like shifting into
Into
a
adult.
duplicate of Artem so quickly on the boat, because y'all just kept hanging out with him, and he kept feeding on all of you. So.
If we're going back to the like, how would you
Death
handle a
question.
death?
Yeah.
Going back to death.
Yeah, bringing it back to death.
On a high note.
Yeah. Ollie obviously would be kind of in a similar position to Artem, where it's like, especially as we were getting into the second half of the story, Ollie was the only one there that had the power to prevent it. Like, if somebody were to fall in battle, it solely fell on Ollie's shoulders, and if it was in a position where they were too far away or they got separated and it happened while Ollie was away or something like that, there definitely would be a pretty heavy sense of like, I had the power to stop this and I couldn't. If it happened before that point, like before he had the power to, I think overall, especially being a druid and living amongst people who probably didn't have the best quality of life, like I don't think death is foreign to him. I think before then, especially if it was like if Artem had died trying to save them from something, like if he was like hold the line, fell in battle while we all got to run, that kind of heroic moment, I think there would be a respect to that. But the second he had the power to change it, and if he had not been able to, probably would have, at a very core level, altered how Ollie viewed the
Felt
world.
that. Yeah.
That would have been a level of cynicism that would have forced me to change the alignment on his character sheet.
Right.
Lawful bitter.
There's a lot. There's a lot of those kind of characters out in the world, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ethan, did you have anything to say about it?
He would have gave a shit.
I would.
It's like,
Yeah.
Can we just throw him
Ethan,
overboard?
You got anything to say about that?
Isaac's just like, skill diff.
just see-
no, he's
you just
very
slowly-
kind.
Slowly just pushes them off of the boat.
Yeah. Just nudge.
The broom handle just get off. Get off.
Get up.
Listen, we don't have enough food. All right, it's nothing personal.
His door only
I'm
has enough
just-
room for one person. God.
More important. Well, like seeing how Isaac handled Arista, even like that was interesting because like Isaac asked if he was a good friend. It wasn't a I feel bad that she died. It's how guilty do I need to be about this?
Yeah, how well received was I?
God, that was such
Yeah.
a rough scene. When you said that, everybody's just like, yikes.
Yeah, that was I think that was kind of part of Isaac's like realization, like, yeah, you're kind of just like a piece of shit. And I think to an extent that was a moment of realization in both good and a bad way, because he's like, okay, like I was a bad friend, I can either do better, or like it's almost like proving to himself that like you shouldn't get attached
Yeah, it's better than
because
not
there's a
have
chance
friends.
you might lose things again.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like the contrast between like Ruby and Isaac. Like Isaac started holding stuff and being like, okay, I'm not going to like get overly attached to other things. Let me like keep, because boy howdy, Isaac dived into talking to Nyx and everything after Arista died, and like really went hog wild on like taking care of your books after that. But like, meanwhile, Ruby was like, I'm going to tell everybody about Arista. We're going to practice the flute. Like, it was so interesting to see, like, you both had the opportunity to pick either way, but like to see how Isaac was like, let's see how much I dare put my heart out any more for anybody else.
Yeah, it's it definitely was kind of a tipping point, I think, in Isaac's story for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Who are we talking about?
You want to
Great.
spin a wheel, Taylor?
Yeah, I got you going. This is a Tam question. What was a theory that you thought of that was either resolved or want to know if you were on the right track? Why'd you make this question, Tam?
Because I'm curious, because there were so many times that, like, as you guys were talking, I'd be like, oh, there's that nugget, like, there's the nugget of the breadcrumb or whatever, and then there would be a veer, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's what they think is going on. So, like, I was just really curious if there was, like, a theory you were proud of that you came up with, or, like, if there's something that you think would have been resolved if we had kept playing, or like, just, yeah, that sort of thought.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely go first on this one for talking about trees. That I couldn't vocalize my ideals about what I was talking about with the trees thing, because I was like, I'm just gonna make this as complicated as possible, because it's fun to roleplay like that. But it was really just the idea that he's taking a piece of himself, Alabaster, and putting it to Isaac, and then eventually being able to switch over or use him in some capacity that way, much like apple seed or the apple shoots can be planted onto other trees,
grafted,
and then it will start producing apples.
Hey, mine was,
I
Yes?
was reading it more
How was that?
as I was reading it more as lichdom and or like Harry Potter Horcrux style, where it was like Alabaster was splitting power and attaching it to people as and I guess we kind of got it confirmed to a certain degree as a form of like, as long as those exist, I can't die in a permanent sense.
see, mine was just like, there's Isaac, and there's Alabaster, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's gonna be just like Alabaster. Like, he was becoming Alabaster. Like, everything that Alabaster did to get where he was at, he was doing the same thing. Just grasping at crazy magic to get even more and more powerful.
Yeah, because from an Alabaster standpoint, I was shocked at how long it took for the word lich to even appear within the conversation. I think that was one thing that, like, the theory of Alabaster is doing all of these things. Why would he be doing all these things? Like, I thought that I had sprinkled enough around to be like, well, why is he doing this? And it makes sense of, like, for Alabaster, if he wants to be this incredible wizard and create this army of jade soldiers and is feeding off of their energy, why not create an incredibly powerful wizard who doesn't control himself and will eventually become a jade soldier that he can then sap just as much as everybody else, but like I was floored by how long it took for even the word lich to pop up in the conversation. But when it did, it was just so fun to watch like all of your faces, especially Ben and Taylor, because it was just like, hang on, wait. And so that was like stuff like that where it's like I could see that you all were like had different thoughts about it, but like to watch it eventually kind of converge and get an answer, but at the same time not. Like it was just interesting as a DM to watch.
Yeah. No, when we were in the tower and we were looking at all the bird cages and stuff, I initially thought that it was because there's a high level necromancy spell. What is it, like soul cage or something?
Soul Cage.
Yeah.
It is Soul Cage.
Yeah. So I thought that he was like doing soul cage, and I know there's like a part of that where you can like absorb their life force to like reinvigorate yourself. And I was like, oh, he's just trying to get a bunch of soul cages so that he can kind of live forever. Isn't there a monster that does something like that? And like the day after that session, I was like, fuck.
Fuck. He's a ledge.
Yeah.
Well, and like that's why like every time that Isaac was doing stuff that like was out of his realm of normal, like it's why the jade kept growing. And like because it's just like, hey, you're gonna feed into this curse and feed into this man regardless of if you want to or not, if these are the choices that you're making.
But polymorph is so cool.
One cast for free, dude.
Yeah.
Listen,
Why not use
when
it?
you only have one 4th level spell, you want to save it.
You have
And you
access
got like
to-
he's like, and I got this amount of arm left, so I can still cast at least 2 more times.
I still got
Yeah.
Count me out.
at least
Yeah.
6 inches before it gets to my lungs. We're fine.
And then he put on the black spot.
I
and
had-
I was like, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that you
Sorry,
put the
please.
black spot on, and then you had that eye patch. Which, if you never had that eye patch, like there was so much stuff we would have missed. That was so funny. I love that so much.
That eye patch got so much mileage.
So much.
mileage out of that thing.
You-
Oh,
Did
man.
not
No, but-
intend for that to get
Yeah.
nearly the traction that it did.
No, I was like, hey, give me an eye patch that looks behind me.
An eye patch that
that's
looks behind
literally
and
what that
sees
came from.
ghosts. Like not many people are like, yeah, totally. Let me get that thing.
Fucking eye patch stand.
It was great.
Jim.
One theory I had, and I didn't have it until the very last session, and it could be purely coincidental. But while we were doing all of the Sorna stuff, and she was like helping us out and granting us wishes, obviously she used transport via plants, which is a pretty high level druid spell. And the way that you were describing Sorna's magic, potentially purely accidentally, sounded very similar to how I described Ollie's Balm of the Summer Court, with like the gold shimmer and the gossamer and all that different stuff. And it just had this thought in my head of where I was like, and then as we were talking about it in chat, if Ollie gets to be a high enough level, he'll be around for thousands of years. And I was just curious what your 2 cents on the likelihood and or if there are in-world implications of Ollie coming borderline dietic.
I mean, so the whole she has the ability to shift and
Right.
and become a person and everything, because not every dragon can do that. Like that's where I started with her, and then I was like, gods can do whatever the heck they want, like, but especially where she's the kind of person that like every year to grant wishes, like she knows the best way to talk to people. Like it's why on earth would she go to you and go, hey, we're going to hop in this magic circle when you're more familiar with transport via plants and that sort of thing. Hence the, like, and so, like, she's very, very good at talking to people at the level that they're at. That being said, yes, there's very much so. Hence the reason why the Shales exist is because if they become strong enough, they could be that legendary figure. So, yes, you're right about Ollie, almost right about Sorna. Like, it's just her way of being able to make this feel as easy and as comfortable for you, because that's how she interacts with anybody. Like, if Isaac were to be the one and everything, and like she could have she could have done something a little bit different for like getting Isaac to Heath, but it's like, hey, you've seen what I can do already. Let me keep this comfortable for you. You've seen me use this magic for your friends. Let me stay in that lane so that way you continue to trust me, because she knows that Isaac still potentially did not. And so she was just trying to make it as comfortable as possible.
Okay, that makes sense. I just thought it was so funny. Like, in the session when you were describing it, I was like, that is almost verbatim how I describe his Balm of the Summer Court.
Yeah.
I was
It's
like,
because
Sorna's just a
she
fucking
respected your wish.
arch-druid dragon.
She's a cardinal. She can do whatever the heck she wants. As part of a theory, remind me which theory that was.
That was the theory that Ollie could be deific as Sorna was, or close to. That was the contained theory.
No, right. Ethan had mentioned a compass dream as part of the theory.
Ooh.
Like,
Oh yeah, when
Oh yes.
I guess it wasn't really tied to a theory. It was more just tied to. I don't think Ethan, the player, put together what it was for. Because yeah, I remember that being a really cool scene and just being like kind of terrified, considering like the compass imagery being kind of almost like a reoccurring theme with the physical compass he had that could tell him answers, and then he has this dream that's like almost seemed like cosmic horror inspired.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think your compass dream was very much so, again, just to try to see where Isaac was at as far as is this concerning to you or no? Like, it was very much so, like, to see the compass just spinning and then for it to land the way that it did. It's just like, it's like, okay, does this scare you? Are you okay with this? Are you gonna do anything about it? Like, yeah, no, it was just there was a lot of times that I just had like a fire poker with Isaac and going, I don't know where you're at, dude. I need to figure out what your motivation is here. How? Yeah.
Yeah, because when that originally happened, I was like, oh, this is like maybe like someone trying to like almost like message, but it's like implanting thoughts in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dream spell, I think, specifically does that.
It does, in fact.
So, yeah, not far off that could have been.
Yeah.
No, it was just Tam fucking vibe
Awesome.
checking you.
I had to do it all the time. Yeah.
Did you have anything, Tony?
No, I'm always vibing.
Cool. Next one.
Beautiful.
Tony knew everything. He was never confused
Yeah,
about
he
anything
was-
ever.
He was never left behind.
I wasn't deep diving. I wasn't I wasn't spelunking like everyone else.
Yeah.
That is very true. But hey, sometimes you gotta be the one
Listen-
with your head above the water. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
listen,
saying?
he had one mission, which was to finish. Like, he kept telling everybody else, "Hey, y'all are all trying to look here, here. We have a mission here. Let's do that. And if that doesn't work, then
Yeah.
we'll look here, here,
Yep.
and here. But first, this." And so Artem was always very much like
that way.
like, "Hey, we got this first, and then if that doesn't, then we'll go elsewhere." But
Yeah.
When Ollie was like, Artem, I don't know what to do with the sword. It's just like, bro, you might die in a couple of weeks. Like, worry about that first.
yeah. Well, again, even with that, where he
Yeah,
was just like, "Hey,
so good.
listen, we figured out that it's at the trench. That's where we're going. We don't need to deep dive anything else. It's gonna be in the direction we're heading. We're good."
We're good.
It's Tony's solution not to being a note taker of just do the job, go.
A one-track mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
This is a question straight from Jaden. Was there anything Tam had prepared, loot or encounter-wise, that we missed or avoided in the Angler's Depths?
Or on Turtle Island.
Oh yes, or in Turtle Island.
Turtle Island had some good stuff
Double
too
include.
that we could not get
As
to.
far, yeah. Because you guys were on a time limit for there, because the lovely turtle folk were eventually going to come back. I know that Ruby had asked, or Finch had asked about if they hadn't done the Hexblade to
Mhm.
pick up the sword, like what would have happened with that. I was just curious if you guys were going to. I purposefully put it there as a time suck because everyone was trying to pick it up. And so I was like, are you guys going to stare at the big shiny jewel for long enough that the turtles are going to come back? And
I
it
never
just
even looked at
kept
it.
happening.
Never
And so then
looked at it.
finally, yeah. But everyone else did. And the amount of time that it took to do that, and if Ruby hadn't bonded with it, it would have been potentially something that either you guys left or would have gotten you into trouble later.
Also, the
because
look on your
guards would have
face.
come back.
The look on your face when he hexbladed that thing was amazing.
It's because I realized I was like, I was like, I knew what the sword was, and then to go, oh no, someone already owns this. I have to now segue into a story and a world and a lore that I did not expect you guys to pick up, maybe ever.
All right.
And so
Time
the
to
fact that
retcon.
yeah, and so it was I knew who Vizen was, I knew what that was, and then to be able to go, oh cool, you're stealing something from, okay, you're not stealing it, but you're trying to bond with something that's already been bonded with. How do we fix this and everything? And so that's why. And hey, guess what? I have to remember so much stuff, guys. I completely forgot that the Hexblades could just pick up a sword and go, look, it's mine now. It was a beautiful gap, mental gap on my part as a GM. And then the second that Ruby said it, I was just like, oh man, dang it, that's right. And that's why I was like, okay, well now how do I fix this? Because I couldn't just give Ruby this sword. There were strings attached. There's a reason why it was heavy, it didn't want to go with any of you, because it already had a person.
So the sword wasn't a poly. Okay.
But yeah, as far
And we
as
found
the
him.
loot, yeah. Oh man, Finch is gonna be so mad. There was a box that does fit the key that Ruby has, and that was in the Angler's Depths.
Oh,
But
Which is
y'all
even-
stopped treasure. Y'all
that's
stopped
even
treasure
juicier.
hunting so fast.
And who was it that
Yeah,
really stopped
like-
the treasure hunting? Who was it that stopped the treasure hunting? Ruby.
Was Ruby? I know. It was
Oh,
in
no.
the top left group of Sorrow Kelp was that box.
Now
with
I'm
that
glad we
key.
left.
And
what's in the
y'all
box? What's in the
Did
box?
not. You didn't
What would it have
find.
been?
You didn't investigate that one. You looked. So in that there was a. So there was a gem in there, and it was basically a. This sounds so dumb. Because I was like, how do I make this interesting enough for a pirate to like want to take? But so it was a gem that was basically a full disguise self setup of
Oh.
like it, like you
Oh.
could change appearance, you could change voice, you could change everything if you were in possession of this. But
Ooh.
like the trick is like you had to be holding it, and so like if you had to like in your pocket, like you had to be doing it. So it was basically a doppelganger stone in a way. Like you could shift to that level of, and there was no time limit, at least as far as like you could be that way for a full day, and then the longer that you attuned with this stone, it would last longer every day. And yeah,
The perfect item for
That's
Sophie to get her people out.
yep.
To be fair,
Ooh.
to be
But-
fair, she had disguise self as a spell.
Right, but how nice would it be to again
yeah,
like
yeah.
when I'm coming up with magic items, like I love to come up with magic stuff that takes pressure away from the resources that you already have. Because like I think it's so dumb when people give magic items that it's like, oh well, hey, cool, I can already do this thing. Like that's
Yeah.
why I baited Isaac the way that I did. It's like, hey, you can do polymorph, but there's a cost. Like, sure, you could do this thing already, but there's a cost to it. Because if you're going to trade your resources that way, but like for the disguise, for this like doppelganger gem, it's like, sure, multiple of you could have cast disguise self, but how nice would it be that you don't have to worry about time frame, about how like the check against that is way higher than just your normal spellcasting DC. And so you had a higher chance of success to be able to potentially infiltrate or that sort of thing. But yeah, that was in the Angler's Depths. And that's why I asked a couple times. And because you guys were doing Mage Hand, like I had to give you the technically lightest items because the chest that was in was not a light enough chest for you guys to just Mage Hand your way out of it. Like there was so much other stuff in there that was just heavy enough. Like there was some awesome armor, there was some awesome weapons, there was some really cool like there was an entire like box of like magical rods and wands and stuff. So like you could have had a like wand of fireball, wand of like just like it was literally just a container.
It was
Of
literally a dragon
spells,
horde.
like spells via wand form. Basically, like, and like that's why the Pirate King made that place is he's like, hey, no one's gonna go down there, and if they do go down there, like that's where he kept the most baited treasure, was because it was just like, sure, go down there if you dare, but he had full intention on either letting the cavern kill you, or he was gonna kill you afterwards, like, and that sort of stuff. So like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like thanks for getting this back up for me. I was actually looking to use it.
right, thanks, and move on. So like that's why he wasn't worried when you guys were like, we're gonna go get the black spot. He's like, okay, have
I'd
at
like
it.
to see you
'Cause,
try.
like, yeah, and if Sylvie hadn't bamped you guys out of there after getting the black spot in the time frame that you did, that was another encounter that was going to happen. Like, y'all would have had a full-on pirate fight because you guys were being watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Oh, we
I
were
think
so
that's
young
the most,
back then.
yeah, I know, so innocent. I think that was the most memorable thing, at least from the Angler's Depths, that when you guys did not continue to invest, and like I asked a couple times, I was like, "You sure
Oh
about
yeah.
that?" And like,
Yeah, me and Ethan were very much we should keep looking.
Yeah. We got outvoted.
And
It was a tough moment because me, the player, obviously wanted to be like, let's get every single magic item, fucking find them all. But Ollie, the character, had just gotten his absolute shit rocked emotionally and was like, I want to be anywhere but here.
well, and so that was the other thing. And I know that you asked about the Sorrow Kelp sword. Ollie could have walked through the Sorrow Kelp if he had tried again because
Yeah.
he had the sword.
Yeah,
And
I figured that part out. That's why I was just
Yeah.
like, are we serious?
like, why are we leaving stuff alone? Like, if Ollie had gone, like, he had, like, you had beat the Sorrow Kelp and you had, like, basically the
Protection.
key to it. Like, the Sorrow Kelp would have left you alone. So you could have been the pack mule of like, here, catch this, and that sort of stuff. But alas, y'all
And that-
hated Pirate Island so much we got out of there as fast as possible.
Listen, it would have been a hard sell at any point. Like he just heard the woman he cared for the most screaming in pain and anguish.
For sure.
He was done.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, if Arda was there, he would have got you in that Sorrow Kelp.
Listen, buddy, I know you're going through a lot. Yeah.
Listen,
did
we
it,
Let me just hold your hand.
listen, just like slowly swimming you down. Listen, hear me out. We're all going through shit now. Get your fucking ass in there.
You think you're the only one with problems? Fucking cry about it.
We're in the water. You can cry all you want. We can't see your tears.
More salt for the salt gods. Wheel spin, anybody?
Yep.
More salt for the salt gods. Now that could be a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Let's get an Ethan question. How many times did y'all want to throw Isaac off the ship?
How many sessions
Ethan,
did
where'd this question come
how
from?
many sessions do we have?
I'm just curious how fucking frustrating it was to like deal with Isaac. Like what I guess where it comes from is like, was it fun to have someone so, I guess, difficult to deal with, or was it like, dear God, sometimes I'm actually like gonna flip out?
Tony's
No, it
eye
wasn't
is just
fun.
twitching right now.
No, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. It's okay. It's okay to be a jerk sometimes. Not every time. So was it 56?
Hey, man, he
56 sessions? Was it 56 episodes, something like that? So
Yeah.
about 56 times I thought about throwing you off the ship.
At least 56.
You were the most troublesome
Isaac
of all
too
my
well.
of all
Is
my
what you're
children.
telling me.
You were the most troublesome of all my children. But no,
I'm glad I could make you proud.
role play aspect, it was great, and I enjoyed the role play aspect. There were times that I really wanted to shake you.
Shaking the baby.
There was lots of times that Isaac would do or say something that I would go, man, someone is gonna just absolutely deck him in the face. And then when no one did, I'm like, it's so good that Ethan is as likable as he is, because Ethan is balancing this just absolute worst character really, really well.
See, Artem
Can't
knew.
keep getting away with it.
Well, see, Artem knew obviously something had happened with him, and he was trying his best to give him someone that he could finally put his trust into, and was really trying to be there for him every time he needed him for anything and be that person for him. But at the same time, every time I wanted to punch him in the face, I just wanted to punch him.
And actually, like, that was one of the reasons why we dropped the luck system, was because of Isaac. Like, everyone was either using luck to either stay, like, to save Isaac when the situations came down to, like, to Isaac getting shoved off the boat or decked in the face or whatever. And then, like, narratively, I was like, at some point, someone needs to hit this guy. Like, and so, and granted, it also just became really broken anyway, but like that's one of the reasons why we dropped it, was because it was just like, especially that one moment on the boat when like Artem wanted to, was it Artem or Sylvie? Someone wanted to deck Isaac, and I hadn't used luck in forever, and I had used luck to help Isaac, and then I sat there and I was like, that felt gross. Like, I didn't like the fact that I made that choice. But the only reason why I made that choice was because Isaac scared the bejeebies out of me of going, I don't know if this loose cannon is going to just vanish into the darkness one day and like leave everything because he didn't get his way. Like, so I was like, I feel like I need to just like protect him just a little bit. Just because like that was
when he blasted me with a firebolt and rolled near max damage on the cantrip, doing 16 points of fire damage to me, and my get back at him was to tell him to jump in the water. Just wanted to jump in the water.
That's right. Yeah.
And I took it personal because I was like, you used your points to make him not get a repercussion. You didn't use your points to make the firebolt not hit me. Then I wouldn't have had the cast command on him.
Right.
And I was like,
no, that's why it felt icky, and we dropped luck after that.
And then he goes and has a talk with a god, and the god hits him and does, I don't know, it was like 12 points of damage, and he came out of it and he was pissed because he was like, that god hurt me, blah blah blah, and I was just like,
hit me.
You did more damage to me than the god did to you. And that was the moment where I literally messaged him.
It's the principle of it, Tony.
I was like, I messaged him. I was like, I don't think Sylvie wants to be here with these people. I was just like,
yep, fair.
I don't think she wants to be here with these people. These people kind of suck. And the way that they were talking to the new crew, like when they were like, hey, you guys go away, we got to discuss if you guys can come along with us, kind of thing. And I was just like, oh, these people suck.
Yeah. No,
that was when I
that
guessed
whole
Barrel as a dog.
Yes. Like that whole transition time was just so rough. But yeah, no, and especially because that was after Arista had died. That was after Artem had left. It was after Isaac and Ball had that fight at that temple. Like, I had no idea where Isaac was at, and so it was like I don't know how, like, where this dumb powder keg is, and everything like that. And so, yeah, no, Ethan,
oh, okay. He
you're
had
a
pretty
great
strong
person,
intelligence.
right? Like, you're a fantastic person and a great player. Woof, Isaac was a rough character.
How much about you guys?
Yeah,
Ollie loved Isaac.
Why?
Yeah, you were there. You were there for the after, like,
Right,
you were
yeah,
there
I'm
for
sure I didn't
the growth
get
portion.
the worst of it. Well, no, because, like, going back to, like, the actual question of, like, how many times did we want to throw Isaac off the boat? After, like, initially, obviously, there was the thing where, like, couldn't tell if you were actually working with the Black Talons or not. And at that point, Ollie was like, you can die in a hole for all I care. You're suspicious as fuck. But then once that kind of got cleared up, I think Ollie, it kind of, again, that kind of mother hen thing of like, oh, like, yes, he's an asshole, and yes, he makes poor decisions. He's traumatized. Nobody's hugged this dude, maybe ever. And so, like, Ollie, like, for the whole point, for that whole, after the Angler's depths and forward, Ollie was never, like, mad at Isaac. He was just like, this kid, he's a kid. He's a kid who is way in over his head, is very emotionally unstable from a reasonable fucking trauma. Fucking somebody give him grace for once in his life. Holy shit.
Oh, he was given way too much.
It's so funny to hear that difference between, like, it's like you knowing and raising your own children versus, like, your next door neighbor only seeing it from the outside looking in. And so for Artem to be like, you were my most frustrating child, and then, like, the cute lady down the street being like, oh, he had such a hard life and such a hard upbringing. It's like, no, there's choices all around here.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, this poor boy needs a hug. While I sat there and watched everyone try to hug this guy, and him actively try to hurt people. Yep. It's just like, oh, he needs a hug. Well, he's burned 3 houses down, lady. Mind your own fucking business.
Yeah. Boy, what a fire.
Not that.
Yeah. I did get physical with Isaac, actually.
You did.
I don't know if you guys remember that.
Actually,
I did
several
almost
times?
throw him
Was
off the ship.
Was it several times? You
This
grabbed him and picked him up several times, I think.
I'm surprised it took that long.
But no, I was like, I'm just gonna go across this fucking table and grab this guy. Like, and the thing that kind of upset Ben about that moment was usually whenever he starts being big and scary, in the bandit perspective, people, get scared or they start fighting. Isaac didn't fight, and Isaac didn't get scared. So it was really just, he didn't know what was happening anymore.
Infuriating, isn't it?
He had no clue what to do about it. So he was like, I can't be physical with you. I'm just gonna fully cut every tie. We're doing this together, but, like, I'll help you as far as an ally does.
Yeah, I think that's where Sylvie was too. Obviously, Artem was more invested in Isaac than Sylvie, but Sylvie was very much I have a mission that I'm trying to do, and if you guys can help me with that, that's cool. And then the moment you guys were actually endangering her mission, she was like, you gotta go.
Bye.
Be gone.
Yeah.
You guys are
And
literally
scar.
ruining this for me.
Yeah. Anything else on this one?
No, we just all at some point wanted to check Isaac off of a boat, probably.
No, Ollie's madly in love with Isaac.
God, what was it?
For
where
sure.
That's why you two are traveling.
Dude, watching you always trying to carve tattoos off of people's bodies early on in the campaign.
Okay, twice.
Yes, to every tattoo I gave you guys, It was. Let me just harvest this, shall I?
Dude, I'm playing like a
I
vampire,
know.
and this dude is way more brutal than I was. Like, you guys, like,
Yeah.
dude, he
So I
was,
didn't want him using magic on me, all right?
dude, man, oh god, that was so brutal. He did a couple things where you're like, I was just like, I don't need to know his alignment. That dude's fishy.
That dude's fish.
Bad news. Speaking of bad news, a question from Jaden here. What was the stat block for the Blade of Sorrowkelp pre-transformation? What did you have in store there, Jaden?
Oh yeah, just
It
simple
was-
curiosity.
It was the like the necrotic damage that like whenever you would hit with it, or if someone was in the proximity, or if someone was not attuned to it properly, like it would. That's why it reacted the way that it did whenever you handed it off to anybody else, because it was just like, nope. So like that style of stuff would hit other people if you hit them with the sword. And the longer that they were by you, and that sort of thing. So like pre-transformation, like the longer that you had the sword, it would have gotten stronger in that realm of necrotic damage and psychic damage and that sort of thing. That was basically the gist of that sword. It would just do what the Sorrow Kelp does, just not in. You don't have to be sitting in a bed of. Yeah, you don't have to be sitting in a bed of kelp in order for that to be happening to you.
I was just
So, like-
because you had mentioned that had I tried to attune to it before like getting the gauntlets or like bolstering my strength in some capacity, that it wouldn't have transformed, and I was just curious, had that become Ollie's decision, how that would have changed his trajectory if he had attuned to this sword and it just was bad and got worse.
Right. It would have. It would have flavored. It would have been much more of a flavor of a sword that Rienne would wield versus something that a Shale would wield, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because she would have loved for y'all to be her little guardian of, yep, go storm the castle, make everyone
Yeah.
sad for me. But yeah,
Oh,
that's
that
it.
was a quick one.
Move,
Just curious.
moving right along. Oh boy. It's so slow to stop. This is a TAM question. What was a moment or something that had happened to another player that stuck out to you or felt like it made an impact on your character? TAM.
I just like hearing what stands out to you guys about, because I know that everyone like thinks about their own character. I'm really curious like if there was a moment, because I know that like Tony talks about the elk water walk moment that Jaden did all the time and that sort of stuff. So like things like that where it's just like, it's like, were you proud of people for any reason, or like was there something that someone else did that just stuck out to you?
Dude, I remember this time where this one player went really offensive, and that stuck out.
Yeah, where we went on the offensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one always.
Uh,
that one sticks out always.
And then
You're so
let's
funny,
see
Tony.
how hard we can backpedal here.
Yeah.
How much
as
work
much-
do we have to do to undo this decision immediately?
Right. As much joke as we give about it, it was seriously a good beat in a moment to really bring in the severity of his, internal struggle, for him actually just being, I'm doing anything to fix my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And it really brought forward that. Sorry, go ahead.
No. You're talking.
No, that was the end of my.
Okay.
I do.
I would just say also that decision got Artem back, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, you're welcome.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, the one that really sticks out.
I
is
really
that
liked when I'm sorry.
You go. You go. I keep talking. You talk.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Mine was just the moment that always sticks out to me is when Ruby or Arista mentioned the god's name in the tavern, and then all hell broke loose. I mean, how can that not be something that someone did where you're like, okay, I can't forget that, because we're like, hey, we gotta be real sneaky. We're not gonna do this, and then it's just like says the god's name and literally jumps to a chandelier with a bunch of people that made warlock packs, and they start eldritch blasting. Yeah, that was a crazy scene. And then like being in a completely different part of the town, not being able to do anything about it, and you're just sitting there watching. You're like, go out the window, run, jump to the window,
Run, you fools!
Yeah,
No, I was so scared that Ruby was gonna stay. Like,
I really thought so.
For me, I was
thought
like,
so.
yeah, I was like, hey Ruby, like, I'm really proud that you had just enough self-preservation to get out of there.
I really thought Ruby was gonna stay. They did not want to leave.
Mm-mm.
I think it was literally Arista getting last hit and actually downed, where it was like,
Yeah.
I can't save her, and then decided to dip. But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Ethan.
I have. Oh,
Nathaniel.
Oh yeah, I'll just go real quick. But yeah, I really liked. I think when Ben kind of stood up to Isaac and was getting confrontational, I think Isaac almost developed some respect, because I think in Isaac's eyes you were kind of pathetic, to say the least. And then you finally stand up to Isaac and like really were like kind of giving him the works, and I was like, damn, like I think Isaac actually almost like respects that in a way where you're like, you know, you see this and you're not just gonna let it slide. And I think that Isaac kind of maybe changed his tune on Ben a little bit after that moment, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Because no one had done that up until that point. Like, everyone just kind of was like, oh, well, it's funny how often I think that this happens either within like friend groups or family or whatever. Like, when someone's just being the worst, people will just go, oh, well, that's Isaac. Like, that's just how they are. They don't hold them to any standard because they've always just been awful. And so the fact that Ben was like, I don't care what everyone else tells me, like, you're being terrible, so let me stand up to you. And I think like that was one of the first times almost in the entire campaign that someone had done that to Isaac. And it's like, oh, well, I guess like not everyone's afraid of me, and like not everyone's afraid to put their foot down and that sort of thing. So like that was just fun.
That was the hardest part about being like Artem, because I felt like Artem was so suited to just beat Isaac, just beat the mess out of him. And I was just like, but he was literally set there like to be, because he was like, kept being like, I can't trust people. The person that I trusted the most like did me wrong and everything. So like in his head, like Artem just couldn't be that person, like couldn't be the strong hand. And but there were so many times I was just like, I just want to cast darkness and just beat him up. Are you gonna Misty step away? You can't see. What you gonna do?
Yo, please, man. Right. Boom! Just give him the works.
Yeah, it was really a morality thing where it was like Ben is religious. He is on that what is it, gear? He's on that line of trying to be a good person, or else bad things are going to happen to you. So he was really on the back end of being the bad guy. So he was like, I just need you to not be the bad guy for 5 seconds.
But I think, again, I just think that was such a needed thing, because like I said, like I couldn't be that person, so having somebody else to be that person, I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, and then
Someone did it.
it was because he was going that day to talk to him about the contract, and he was like, oh, well, you're just backstabbing and conniving either way. And it really just sent him over the edge for that kind of interaction, to be like, no, I'm not playing this game that everybody else is playing. Digging the heels. You could have asked us. You could have looked for our help. Like, that's what we were already doing.
Yeah. No. Good stuff.
I will
Good
say-
stuff all around.
I will say, also, you threw me such a curveball at the end when you pulled us into that room, and I was like, oh, I wonder what you're gonna say, and then went full emotional, and it was just like, how could you have done that to Arista's memory and all this stuff? And I was like, damn, I was not expecting that. That was like such a curveball from me, but to me it was like hitting him that like we finished our mission, and it was like, for the first chance, I think he had a chance to kind of grieve what we've lost along the way.
Well, you hit me back just as hard, because you said I was basically just saying that to like appease the god and ensure Arista's death wasn't in vain, and that kind of threw Isaac for a loop too, where he didn't even consider that. Like, he was like, it's almost, he turned his head to like revenge and like, we need to make things right, and you were more like, no, we need to honor what Arista stood for. And I think that's like a fundamental difference between Isaac and Argo, which I think was interesting.
But again, I just feel like that was like an age kind of response, like somebody who is older, who's lost more people along the way kind of situation, to somebody who's younger and is way more like in that kind of state of like, we should attack, we should like avenge her, we should get that kind of mentality, compared to somebody and being like, they died for a purpose, and we all could have died along the way too. I mean, it was part of, we had said at one point, we're like, we got to figure out who all wants to be on this ship for this purpose, because it was dangerous.
Yeah, shit got, I think things progressively got more and more real, and the stakes kept growing higher and higher, but I think everyone definitely earned their spot on that ship.
Yeah, there's so many good lines throughout the series. I was like, damn.
Well, there was a scene that happened, I think not too long. I think it was between when Isaac put on the black spot and we got to Trost, where it was Ollie, Isaac, and I think Artem was there too, where Isaac's facade cracked. Like, I can't remember what the conversation was in particular, and Isaac was kind of pounding his chest and talking about, we have to be strong, we have to do this, I need to do this, there's all this I need to do. And then the facade cracked, and he admitted that, like, he was like, if I have to admit that it's not possible or I can't do it on my own, I'll take drastic measures. And I think that was when Ollie was like, oh, he's just a kid.
Yeah.
And so that was a big moment for Ollie, of like, especially having just come off of what happened, which is another scene I want to shout out that kind of changed who Ollie was when he pulled that blade of sorrow and had to immediately acknowledge, A, that his master failed, which is something you never want to admit, and B, she failed because she tried to shoulder the weight alone, and Ollie was successful because these people, who he doesn't really even know that well, helped him. and then to immediately go into that scene with Isaac and be like, oh, even if it's because he's refusing help, he's suffering because there's nobody to help him.
Yeah.
I like, for all the ribbing we gave him, all he suddenly had to be like, oh, this is real grief. This is real trauma. Fuck what just happened to me. This is the real shit. And immediately changed his tune about Isaac.
But I also think that scene too was the first time Isaac kind of realized that maybe he did need other people. Like
Yeah.
that was the moment where it did seem to get more real. That it's like, oh, he put the black spot on, thing went crazy. Next thing you know, he's teleported across the thing. We're all in this super crazy situation, and it's just like, and he had that moment where he's like, I need to be the strongest, and that's why he put the glove on, because he was reaching for anything to give him an advantage so he could, handle all this. And I think when he got to the ship and he had the glove, he saw everyone's reaction, go, oh, maybe I need to start looking at other people. I don't know if that's how like Ethan saw it or anything like that, but like it was like the first time where he's just like, oh, I have people around me.
Yeah, that's how it at least felt.
Yeah.
I think it was like a couple things. I think it was he realized to an extent, like, okay, my actions have a bigger effect on those around me. And I think it was also like there was this sense of, you did this and you could fuck up your own self, and that would hurt like us. Like we'd be fucking bummed about that. And I think the combination of those two things kind of made Isaac kind of realize the gravity of the situation a little bit.
I do believe in that conversation was Artem saying, I'm scared, and what you're doing is scaring me. And it's okay for you to also be scared, but you need to reach out. Yeah. I think that was contained in the conversation.
Scene.
Yeah.
Sometimes Artem said some cool stuff afterwards, and I was like, I don't know how I said that.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
Well, I was just like thinking about those two scenes in particular. Like, Ollie was able to get the Sorrowkelp sword because Sylvie inspired, and like that little moment that Sylvie gave Ollie was like the push that Ollie needed in order to have the bardic inspiration to do. And then to have Artem have that conversation, like I know that we all say some really cool stuff and then and then completely forget what it is, but like Ollie, you gotta give yourself some credit, because you all have said some really cool stuff in this campaign at some point.
I do wonder, like, is it
my entire speech to Rianne at the end, fugue state. I watched it back and I was like, oh damn, I was kind of spitting. What the fuck?
I was wondering if anyone had done anything like that, because when you said that, like, I feel like I've said a couple things like that where I'm just like, afterwards I'm like, damn, that was pretty good. Like just improving, most of this is just improving, just in the moment kind of speeches and stuff. And every now and then I was like, has anyone like said something where you're just like, afterwards you're like, pretty good. Because that speech was really good.
Yeah, it was really close with the epilogue for Ben, because I couldn't think of him going forward. And like, I was like, I'm just going to ask him to meet me in a room, and I'll figure it out from there. I'll just wing it. But then I got to go last, and it's like, I have all that time to really compact on, how much he went through. And then, that whole speech of, I am the greatest wind, or I forget what I said specifically, but it's like, I'm this big thing, but I don't want to be. I want to be the loser of losers again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all had great times. Even Tam. Jesus. Dreams and like
your script that you wrote
visions.
for us, so good.
Yeah, dude. Like,
hey, thanks. I'm so glad that you guys can read my handwriting. It's terrible. the moment that my brain blanked in the, at least especially in the epilogue, was when Sorna was talking to Isaac, and I went back and I re-listened to that, and I was like, ah, dang it, that was good. That was an okay,
Yeah.
yay DM moment.
Yeah.
What do you think Isaac's best line was?
Best line? God. I really liked his talk with Ball. I think that was really good.
Yeah.
And then I just really like the we'll call it a talk, but it was more a screaming match with Vision.
Yeah.
I will say, any time that Nyx talked with Isaac was probably some of my favorite stuff to do with Isaac. Oh, that sassy little snake.
So Sylvie had like we had talked about this, like, because Sylvie was gonna have a familiar and was gonna do this stuff, and I was talking to Ethan about it, and Ethan goes, "Wait, familiars can do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, if you had one that would work with you."
Yeah, dude, Clover was dope.
I was like, "You can
Yeah.
cast spells through them," and he was just like, "Wait, you can?" I was like, "Yes, they have a purpose."
I thought they were just there so you didn't get lonely. Well, I guess Nyx didn't help with that.
Yeah, I was
much
gonna
either,
say
but-
Nyx
Wow.
wasn't good for that. It's like, I'd rather be lonely. Maybe that's what Nyx's purpose was, to always keep him in that mind state where he's just like, no, I could be alone. Alone's better.
yeah. It's to remind him how miserable people can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
great.
I want
That-
to give Taylor his flowers real quick before we move on
Flowers?
from the topic.
Yeah.
The scene in Trost where Ollie walked in and Ollie broke and was like, I'm scared and I don't know what to do next because this has gotten very real very fast. And I can't remember the exact line, but you had a very beautiful, like, poetic kind of soliloquy that basically boiled down to the, like, it's okay to be scared. You're gonna have to do it scared.
Yeah.
I think I remember the moment. Is that where I gave like it's my favorite quote from my mother? That was like, it's take it month by month, take it day by day, or if you
Yeah.
have to, take it hour by hour. But either way, you're gonna have to get through it.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Good.
it was a
It's-
fantastic scene.
Excellent. Finishing thoughts?
I'm just seeing. I mean, we kind of captured that. What's your favorite moment with that last question? But I guess
It is.
this, for story purposes, this is just something that I said that we were going to revisit this with Sylvie. The thing that is so fun about this game is it doesn't matter how much I prep. You guys are living, breathing characters, and all that I can do is give you the bones, and you guys fill it in, and everything like that. And so it's so funny how I thought that I had set stuff up so well for you all. Like, Isaac had the chance to follow where Alabaster was, because Alabaster was very clearly taking on slave ships. Ruby wanted to free slaves, and so there was a chance to go free slave ships. Sylvie was there to save the Mataro, and you guys could potentially go and help with, like, free those people, and then also see the roster of slave ships that was happening. Ollie and Ben both had intention to, like, go out and like, for Ben to see that injustice and everything. Like, all of that was happening, and it didn't matter because of a single moment Isaac put on the black spot and everything just shifted. And so like it's just been so like it was just such a cool moment in hindsight to go, it doesn't matter what I do. Like the best thing that I can do is give you guys as much story as possible to play with. And it was just so cool to see how much of what you guys like picked up on and wanted to focus on or whatever. So like if anything, it just made me even more excited as we've been prepping for campaign 2. Now that I know your guys' play styles, now that I know how your brains go, like I'm so excited to see like what I can do to throw at you guys story-wise, and then watch you guys just morph with it. Because like this campaign did not go at all how I thought it was going to, but that's totally fine because it was such a good story anyway.
Jokes on you, my other character has a different brain.
Yeah.
I've
You
already
guys
told
are going to
Tam,
get to
now
see
it's my
Ethan
turn
play a
to
happy
be the
character.
complete dickwad.
No,
Yeah, it's
I'm
time for
the
me to go on the
complete
offensive.
dickwad.
Tom said it's my turn to
There.
be the asshole.
We'll find out. But hey, they're probably not going to ever be as bad as Isaac was.
Damn.
Easy peasy.
Challenge.
Hey, listen. He was the true worst of the worst.
He was a loser of losers. No.
But yeah.
Man.
No, like looking back on like this whole campaign, like it shifted, and especially because like we've added people, we've had to like people have had to drop for various reasons and everything like that. So like just to see the story that like everyone added and came up with, and like the fact that we were able to tie it in the bow that we did, like I'm proud of that. And like it was really cool to see, like, especially I know that we keep referring to the epilogue, but because of course it was the most recent, but just to see how from where everyone started to getting to that point, like that's something that you can't do besides just live in your character and give this game time and trust that there's a process and that there's a story to be there. And it's incredibly refreshing to be able to say, like, this is why we play D&D, and like this is why this game is as cool and is as important to us and so many other people, because we can see what we can do with it and everything. So like I'm just grateful to all of you for like letting me DM for you and like trusting me to run that, so that way you guys could absolutely just run amok with it.
It was a blast.
I had a great time.
So good.
But yeah, thanks everybody. Y'all are great. And like I mentioned, we're going to be just doing some fun nonsensical stuff for the next little bit. Maybe have one of these folks do some DMing and everything, so that way my brain can take a beat and finish prepping for the beginning of this next campaign and everything like that. And then we will be yeah, so we'll just keep everyone posted on kind of scheduling as far as that goes, but we'll make sure that because we can post in Twitch, right? Like when campaign 2 starts and stuff. We have a way to
so.
schedule that, I believe. So
It's like an event or something. Yeah. we
yeah,
can get that.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll keep everyone
We'll start doing a
up and
countdown
about.
on
But
the one
if
shots.
yeah, this is one shot 6, 5, 4, and we'll figure it out. But thanks everyone. It was super fun to get to play this game for y'all. Can't wait to get to do another one, and hope that you join us on that ride as well.